What moment made you realize that you are not a kid anymore? I told my niece she needed adult supervision to do something, and she looked at me like I was dumber than a block of cheese and asked why I couldn't watch her. "You're not the sharpest cheddar in the fridge, huh?" This happened to me. I told my nieces we had to wait for an adult to take us to the playground down the road. They replied, "Auntie, you're an adult, can't you just take us?" "Oh fuck yeah, I guess I can. Let's go play on some swings." I was 22 at the time, working as a ski instructor who looks after kids a lot, but just never really thought about it too hard because I always get to play games and muck around. When I was in the military, well, Coast Guard, someone asked a question and I was like, I bet the highest ranking person here would know the answer. No. Was used to being the baby at my workplace, and then one day I realized I had trained most of the people currently working here and I had second highest seniority. I once worked in a hellhole job with crazy turnover. We had 15 to 20 employees. After 3 months of being the new guy, I looked around and realized I was the third most senior person at the office aside from the owners. When some doctors or teachers are younger than me. The last time I was at the ER, I slowly realized that all the medical personnel treating me were younger than me. When my actions started to change a lot of people's life. If I don't do shopping today, I cannot cook for my wife and she would not have any food to take in the other day, and in the next day I will be working so no one will buy food. As an example. It's one thing if I only eat once a day. But the kids need 3 square meals and snacks, so mama does not get a depression day. Realized this when a Facebook friend of mine asked what depression meals people eat, and I realized even if I don't eat, I have to have the energy to fix food for 3 kids. Parents pulling themselves together for kids really warms my heart. Makes me feel for my own parents. As a kid you believe your parents are these invincible people, but in reality they have very real struggles and insecurities just like the rest of us. Parenthood really smacked me in the face in that regard. You don't have the option of switching off. When my son was not yet a toddler, I came down with one of those draining cold flu illnesses where you feel like an amoeba sliding across the floor. I had to go to work to wrap up a huge project and so came home even more tired than before and just spent. I felt like hot garbage. Now, if this had happened 2 years prior, I would have stripped off my clothes and fallen face first into bed. Instead my son got a huge smile when he saw me come in the door and started bouncing, then motioned that he wanted a pony ride on my back. So I found myself giving my son a raucous pony ride with energy I didn't know I had, trying not to throw up from the motion. Having the we have food at home talk with myself. Absolutely. I realized it when my thought process went from what do I feel like having for dinner? To what do I have to eat before it spoils and I wind up wasting the money I spent on it? It's the spinach. You have to eat the bag of spinach you bought that you're definitely going to eat this time. Cut to a week later where you're tossing out the bag of spinach. Stuff 2 handfuls in your mouth every day. Breakfast and dinner. Done. Although yeah, I get it. For me it's bananas and apples. I feel this so much. When I know I need more greens but don't know what I want to eat, I always look despairingly at the bag of spinach. I like it, but it also makes me sad because it's not a donut, and grudgingly take. Out a fistful or two to mow down on just to get it over. I once read that adulting is getting pissed at yourself for not defrosting the meat. Yes. I wanted to make wontons today, but my stupid butt put the ground meat in the freezer yesterday instead of the fridge, so now I have to wait till tomorrow. Just put it in your sink and let cold lukewarm water pour over it while you prep the other stuff. It's what chefs do in kitchens when they need to defrost quickly during a rush. Sure, it'd take an hour or two, but it's better than 86 singers. You're clearly not an adult. Running water for 1 to 2 hours is expensive. If you reuse it to water plants, you get your adult card back. Bag the meat up, collect shower water, use the water to defrost, then use the water to water the plants. Only if you didn't use any soap while showering. Soap is bad for your plants and everything else in the soil. I was really excited to buy a mop from that moment on it all went downhill. I'm almost 40 now. Bought a new vacuum late last year. I'm still semi-excited about using it every time I do. It just works so much better than my old one. I got a new vacuum and was really excited, so I told my roommate's mom who was visiting. Her response? You need to get a hobby. I got a new vacuum. Fortunately, it sucks. As a sysadmin for a company, I'm planning out a complete server room overhaul, proper server room power cables, proper cable management, etc. When the power cables and the Velcro cable straps came into my office this morning, I was like a kid in a candy store, just filled with 100% excitement. In high school, a friend of mine worked at a laser tag place. He got a bunch of us in for free one day. In the waiting room we had a friendly trash-talking match with some 12-year-olds about the upcoming game. One of them came back with "You're on. Kids versus adults." Note, we were all 18 at the time. I work as a retail worker, 18 tomorrow, and a lot of kids at my town recognize me as the man from the store. It really feels weird not knowing all of them, considering I knew everyone in town when I was their age. Happy almost birthday. Yeah. I was probably 30 plus shooting hoops at the park when some kids joined us. It was all fun and games until one of them asked us, "What grade are you in?" We joke now that they said grave rather than grade. Lol. Lamau, you reminded me of this one time I went to the lake with my ex, and I was building a sand castle and some sand sculptures. I'm a short female and at the time I was 20, and super skinny for me. That being said, I can see where I looked young. This 9-year-old girl was really impressed with my work and came up to me and asked me to help her. I said yeah, and we started talking. I don't talk to kids any different than I do adults, so we were having a decent conversation. When we were finishing up, the conversation went to the local schools. She told me which school she was going and I replied, I used to go to there. Then she asked me what grade I was going to go next year. I laughed and said, I'm 20, I don't go to school anymore. Her jaw dropped. Lol. When I saw a forecast for snow and I was annoyed instead of happy. This is a great one. Kids see potential snow day and imagine all the fun a snowy day brings. Adults see shoveling it out of the driveway just so you can sit through a shitty drive to work. It's all fun and games until your car door gets frozen shut. Come on you little, it's already 6:30, I'm late muff. This happened to my wife one winter. We spent an hour trying to chisel her car out before I just drove her to work. It was the weekend, so I had the day off. We're happy we have a garage now. I had some nicer spray and asked my partner at work if he needed some. He said, "I'm a man, I don't need no deicer," and was dead serious. He grabbed his door and it wouldn't budge. That was probably the sweetest satisfaction I've had at work. I used to be able to take days off work whenever I wanted, and now I find myself having to have the "if you take that many days off you won't be able to pay your mortgage, so suck it up and go to work" speech with myself at least once a week. Lol. Edit for clarification, I work as a nurse and we have our set schedules and between 3 to 6 weeks of vacation a year depending on where you work, your position, and seniority, etc. But I used to have multiple part-time jobs instead of a full-time. I took off many days for travel, etc. But now I am 21 and have a mortgage to think about, so I'm working full-time and can't take nearly as much vacation time off as I used to, and it sucks.